Hi, my name is Mamiya, and I am a church planter here in Susaki City, Kochi Prefecture, Japan. And today I want to give you my testimony because I believe that God is a very unique God, and hopefully through this video you'll be encouraged to do something outside the box because a lot of times we think that we have to do things in a certain way, but that is not the case for us. We have a MMA, mixed martial arts program. We have an international church in a small town. We have a nursing home. Everything kind of works together. It's intertwined, and so I just want to share what God has been doing through our ministry here in Susaki City. So Susaki City is a small town, 20,000 population, declining society, aging society. More than 40% are senior citizens. Wow, that's above 30%, which is the Japanese average, in general, right? 30% senior citizens in Japan. It's way past that, so you can imagine how challenging it is to be a church planter here in this dying society. But yeah, 2022 was when my wife and I moved here in Susaki and started to observe the Lord's Day, together, just between myself and my wife, as a house church. Because we run a nursing home, which is our family business, we started to recruit Christian caregivers from, people who we knew from outside the prefecture. So they would move and we would give them housing. There's plenty of rooms in the nursing home, and we would gather on Sundays. That's how we started. Because I had a background in, studying abroad and living in the United States, and my wife as well. So we started an international church because there is no international churches in Kochi City. So we thought that we can cater to a different demographic. So we started an international church. We started to attract Indonesians, Filipinos, American missionary, in fact. And so we have a bilingual worship service. So that's kind of where we at now. As a church, it's a small church. Maybe on a good day we will have maybe 10 people congregating. It's not big, but we have 4 different nationalities, and we love the Lord. And so the MMA program is unique. When we came here in 2022, one of the challenges that our company was facing was shortage of manpower, human resources. And this is not only us, but throughout Japan, caregivers, essential workers are very, very lacking, because young people don't want to, work in a nursing home, and because the populations are declining. We just don't have the human resources that are necessary to take care of our elderly people. And so, anyways, that is a huge social problem that we face. And so God gave me the wisdom to start an MMA team. So I am a mixed martial artist. I'm a professional MMA fighter. I fight in the cage. In fact, about 2 weeks ago, I fought in a cage and I won by decision. But the mixed martial arts is something that I started when I was 30 years old. I was a late bloomer. But God has given me the strength to become a professional after 4 years of hard work. And now I'm in a very prominent league called the Shuto. Anyways, God is using my ability as an athlete to start an MMA team as a corporate team, which is non-existent, right? I mean, it's a unheard of. But that attracted a lot of people from all over Japan. So throughout this program, it's been maybe a little bit past 3 years but now, but more than 25, maybe almost 30 people, 30 young men moved to Sasaki City to join this program. And so I have a privilege to teach these young men. And so that's another way for us to minister. A couple of the fighters are attending church now. And we don't force them, but we encourage them to come whenever we have a chance. And so some of them stick, and some of them enjoy being at church. I think it's the social aspect of it, but hopefully, they'll understand the meaning of what I preach to them, and that God will use, the sermon, or if even the social encounters that we have in the church to share the gospel. And yeah, so that's one way that we approach and evangelize, which is through evangelizing to these MMA fighters. Also, we in our nursing home, we have a chapel service in the morning. So every morning we have a briefing time, but before that, we would designate 5 to 6 minutes for singing hymns and praying and delivering a short message, right? Short exhortation. And I believe that although our workers are predominantly non-believers, we are, we're sowing the seeds in their hearts. And this is another way, of evangelizing. I mean, usually in Japan, it's hard to evangelize people who you don't know. But these people, they come to work, right? That's their need, right? Jesus, when he ministered to the people, he always sort of understood the need of the people. I believe that when it comes to ministry and mission or evangelism, you have to have both the gospel and understand and meet their needs, right? So in this case, we're providing employment for the local people, and they're coming. And usually people don't come to church. I mean, the people are really skeptical about what we teach in the church. But because we are a corporation, people show up, and we take advantage of that. So I believe that the seeds are being sown in their hearts, and in the right timing, God will, he'll, the season of harvest will come. And so MMA, nursing home, and our church as an international church in a small town, which kind of doesn't make sense, but it does, right? Because when you think about international churches, you would think urban cities in Japan, Tokyo, Osaka, Kobe, but it's funny because even in this small town of Kochi Prefecture, we have a significant presence, international presence here. Most of them come because there's lack of labor. So a lot of Southeast Asians would come as a student, and they would, basically they are working in a farming business. The greenhouse, etc. And some are there's one member or believer who comes to our church regularly. She's an English teacher. She's from the Philippines. And so I was surprised how significant the international population are, even somewhere as small as Sasaki City, Kochi, Japan. Anyways, it all doesn't make sense, but somehow God makes it work, and it's all intertwined. We're building community for Christians to come and work and to serve. We're building an MMA team, which I have, which I manage and I have full control, but also I cater to their mental needs, and and that provides me an opportunity to share the gospel to these guys. And international, the our abilities that God's given us to speak English in the countryside of Japan, that's working. People, Christians, come from different countries, and they can't find a church where they can worship the Lord in their mother tongue. So we're building community for international people as well. So it's a beautiful thing, and God is good. And hopefully, this testimony will encourage you to really think outside the box, because God can use mixed martial arts, MMA, to minister to these people. Nursing, caregiving for God's glory. So yeah, think of what God can use you and your special abilities that you have, your experience that you have, your specialties, think outside the box. Maybe God can use you in a very unique way. So hopefully this was encouraging. And yeah, God bless you. Until next time. This was Mamiya Matsuura from Jesus Beat International Church. Bye-bye.